Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rich here, and we're back at it with another video. Now in today's video, as you could tell by the title, on the 19th of February, which was either yesterday or 2 days ago, depending on when this video is up, there was news that came out about Xbox and their research group working with Ninja Theory to maybe do some things with AI and gaming that they've been kind of fiddling with. So I'm going to get my thoughts on that. Overall, just the game restoration part that they talked about, and also the potential Pandora's box-esque effect that could happen with gaming and with this whole thing. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I will say also, which I should have said before I did my intro, it is windy outside, so if you hear ba-doom doom, please don't mind that. It's just, don't mind that. There should be music in the background anyway, or a video with music. We'll see what I do. I reported in November that Microsoft was about to start a bigger effort to bring AI features to Xbox, and today the company is unveiling what it's calling a breakthrough in AI for gaming. Microsoft's new Muse AI model could help Xbox developers create parts of games in the future, and the company says it's even exploring the potential of using it to preserve classic games and optimize them for modern hardware. Microsoft Research has created Muse, a first of its kind generative AI model that can generate a game environment based on visuals or players' controller actions, and understands the 3D game world and game physics and can react to how players interact with the game. The Muse model was trained on a large amount of human gameplay data from the Xbox game Bleeding Edge, thanks to a collaboration between Microsoft Research and Xbox studio Ninja Theory, both of which are based in Cambridge in the UK. This partnership allowed us to closely collaborate with the game studio to understand what needs to be in place and how we can responsibly unlock access to a large amount of gameplay data. This allowed Muse to access the equivalent of 7 years of human gameplay, resulting in the model being trained on 1 billion image action pairs in total, which that is a lot. It's a milestone research project that's being published in Nature today, but as its early work, the model is limited to generating gameplay visuals at a resolution of just 300 by 180 pixels. That's up from the 128 by 128 resolution of Microsoft's earlier work on generative AI gaming models, but it's still far behind the 1080p 1920 by 1080 resolution that is common among PC gamers. Microsoft has released a number of examples of the Muse model in action, generating gameplay and even allowing players to load visual elements into the game to prompt the model. This could be used for the early iteration stages of a game, but Microsoft is stressing that this isn't designed to generate an entire game and replace creators, which is very important to note down. For Xbox, the principles that drive our approach to AI are to create more value for players and game creators, bring more games to more people around the world, and recognize that the development of a great game will always be grounded in the creator's vision and artistry. We believe generative AI has the potential to enhance this creativity and unlock new possibilities. During a press briefing, there was also a demonstrated real-time version of Muse that Microsoft is currently experimenting with to enable interactive AI-powered games. The demo generated game visuals on the fly in real time, and even reacted to objects being dropped into the game to change the environment. While the real-time gameplay only ran at 10 FPS and at a 300 by 180 resolution, it was an early demonstration of what might be possible in the future. Microsoft is now exploring how Muse could help improve classic games and bring them to modern hardware. You could imagine a world where, from gameplay data and video, that a model could learn old games and really make them portable to any platform where these models could run. We've talked about game preservation as an activity for us, and these models and their ability to learn completely how a game plays without the necessity of the original engine running on the original hardware opens up a ton of opportunity. Microsoft is also exploring how Muse can help game developers prototype games, or how teams could add new AI-powered experiences to existing titles. Some short interactive AI game experiences will be available on Copilot Labs soon for people to try out. Microsoft is also planning to share AI tools and experiments with Xbox players and creators earlier on, quote unquote, so that it can, quote, make sure that our AI innovations address real problems and add new value to creating or playing with Xbox, end quote. While Microsoft is still in the exploration phase of AI in gaming, It's also making it clear it's up to individual studios at Xbox how they want to use AI in games. As a part of this, we've empowered creative leaders here at Xbox to decide on the use of generative AI. There isn't going to be a single solution for every game or project, and the approach will be based on the creative vision and goals of each team. There is already a lot of fear from game developers and studios about how AI could affect the creative process of making games, particularly at a time when barely a week goes by without layoffs in the gaming industry. A recent report revealed that 1 in 10 game developers lost their jobs in 2024 alone. We don't intend to use this technology for the creation of content. I think the interesting aspect for us that's exciting is how we can use technology like this to make the process of making games quicker and easier for our talented team, so they can really focus on the thing that's really special about games, the human creativity. Now, initially, I thought that they were talking about just straight up emulation. I'm not gonna lie. I found out about this news via Blue Sky, which follow me on Blue Sky. Link is in the description. Get off of X. You don't need to be on there. Elon is on there. You don't want to be on there. And I found out because of Blue Notify with notifications. That's a little third-party app that they have. Via Wario64, great account to follow. And I will say at first I was very conflicted. Shout out Kendrick Lamar.
I remember you was conflicted.
But after doing some research via articles and watching some YouTubers talk about it as well, I began to kind of understand what was going on. While I don't like the thought of AI being in gaming, I can understand the vision that Xbox Research and Ninja Theory, what they see with this. Now, my concern isn't with them at the moment. It's more so with the Pandora's box effect, in a way that this will have on gaming. Not too much of the part of Pandora's box, but the effect of once the box is open, you can't really close it and forget about it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to kind of go back to what gaming once was before AI ever touched the space. This will be the first time, I guess, majorly speaking, I'm pretty sure I'm incorrect, but majorly speaking, this is going to be the first time it is known that AI is going to be in the gaming space like that. Now, obviously, as the article did point out that we just read, they did say it would be a small thing that would exist for now. They also mentioned that it would be up to certain game studios and developers to decide on how much AI they want to put there. Xbox will probably have their own little limitations. They're probably not going to let them do a whole lot because they still want human creation and human creativity and human emotions and passions put into the stuff that they're making. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I guess in my thoughts, again, I'm not really a fan, but like I said, I can understand what they see. So you just gotta hope that people don't take advantage of it and just start being lazy and saying, oh, well, let's make a game completely of AI, which we'll all talk about in a little bit. Now, before we get into the next sequence of this video, which will be about the effect this could have on gaming, a little bit of good and a little bit of bad, it was just inevitable at this point with AI tech being in gaming. It was gonna happen at some point. If it wasn't gonna happen now, it was gonna happen soon. The timeline for AI and tech, pretty much anywhere on the internet, I believe social media, most social media websites have AI in it now. Coca-Cola had not one but 2 commercials with AI in it. It was bound to happen. They even had, I think, I want to say they had a Super Bowl commercial. But yeah, it was bound to happen at some point. Now, getting into this next sequence, continuing the convo about this effect that AI could have on gaming. Now, it could go 2 different paths. Now, the first path, it could be that it could benefit gaming. The way that Xbox and Ninja Theory really wanted to, at least at the moment. Everyone in the gaming industry kind of follows that quote-unquote game plan that's being set by Xbox to say, hey, remember there are humans that still have to work and people that have a passion for this stuff, so let's not overpower the AI thing. Let's keep it kind of low, Don't set it too high. Don't go too crazy with AI for current and newer games, and use it to help restore older games for modern day technology, which I do find pretty interesting. Path number 2 is basically the opposite of all of that. Just imagine if they just start taking advantage of AI and start making games completely with AI, laying off certain departments at certain studios and stuff like that. Basically all hell, pretty much. Actions have consequences type things. You might think to yourself right now, no one would do such a thing, but you never know how desperate people can get, or companies can get. Obviously, we saw how bad companies could get during the writer strike that happened a few years ago. So it is a good idea to keep that thought in mind and keep your eyes on anybody that might get too powerful or might, get a little too crazy with AI over the next few years, and with people with a lot of power in the gaming industry. Getting into the last sequence of today's video, we're going to be talking about restoring older games talk, which was a second point that the article mentioned Xbox was really taking into consideration with this whole AI Muse thing that they have going. Now, there is the perspective that about 87% of games ever made, especially most of them prior to 2010, are unplayable in the perspective of owning it yourself with modern technology. SNES, for example, had cartridges. You can't really play that on anything that's newer in regards to any consoles or anything like that. The only other way to play those games would be pretty much having the console that the game was meant for and playing it like that, like you would years ago. So let's use Super Nintendo in this instance. If you want to play Super Mario World, you have to have the original Super Nintendo to play it. You can't just take this cartridge and put it inside of a PC slot or anything like that. It's just not how that works. There's no technology that really considers that kind of stuff, or is really meant to handle that stuff as of right now, just simply in that way when it comes to physically playing stuff. Now, some games with CDs and CD-ROMs, it's a little bit easier, but certain things like cartridges is not as easy. In that instance with the Super Nintendo, you'd have to take into consideration the condition of the game you have. It might not be up to standard. The same thing could be said about the console. You may have just let the console sit and probably haven't deep cleaned it in years, and it might be filled with dust, and it might not work. And we need technology to really help restore games, so I can kind of see what Xbox sees in this instance when it comes to pretty much preserving, or pretty much restoring as well, older games. The only way to really do that is with emulation, I guess, by current standards, and that's digitally downloading a ROM and then downloading the emulator, and then you know how it goes. You know how the rest goes. You know how this goes. You're watching the video. I shouldn't have to explain that. Once you download the little ROM, it's pretty much yours to keep unless you just delete it. However, there are some instances, where the companies, cough cough, Nintendo, may not rock with emulation, even though they're not earning money off of these IPs. They're not gonna earn money off of you buying a old NFSU Underground 2 game and then trying to play it on GameCube. They're not earning money from that. So in these instances, even with the emulations, they're not earning money off of that. So that's why a lot of these games, they have the little stores where you can buy a certain game and then play it, and there's no graphic enhancements or anything like that. A lot of them don't really have that. It's just, oh well, here's 1080p and that's it. You don't get anything really cleaner than that, depending on what you're trying to play. And hopefully this AI thing can kind of help advance restoring older games. Now, the other perspective I'm interested in this instance, kind of wondering how that would work. Would they continue to still charge people for the digital version that's on the console? Like, let's say you want to buy Halo 2 and you have the original copy. Would they let you pretty much get the newer version if you put that physical copy in, or do you have to buy Halo 2 again and then you get the AI enhancements? That's what I'm kind of interested in as well, because we're in a time period where physical media, it really is important to have, especially in gaming. Pretty sure I've talked about physical media before. It probably was eons ago. But I'm kind of interested in that perspective as well with this, because I don't think it's going to work like that. It would be a miracle though, because people have a lot of games just sitting in their rooms that haven't been played in a while, because maybe they sold their older console and they can't really play it through any other way. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to go when they're talking about restoring older games. And I do, again, really like this perspective. Xbox has always been the one company that they always mention restoring and backwards compatibility, probably more than anybody else does. So that is a pretty cool sign that they're showing the mindset to care about this kind of stuff, because it's very important and it probably could be useful. You already know what the game is, so you're basically just adding AI enhancements to kind of help it out. I think in this instance I can rock with it a little bit more, because these games are old. Most of them are really old. It's just in this case, again, the matter of if I have the game physically, will I get my enhancements if I put the physical game in from, say, 2004, or do I have to buy the game in the store in order to get the AI enhancements? So I'm repeating myself, but you can get it in that perspective. Okay, I think we have approached the end of the video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to make it rain on the like button and subscribe. And if you do sub up, hit the little bell that's next to my name and get all notifications so you don't miss a video when I upload on the channel. If you are interested in video game things, we do that stuff around here. We're playing Astrobot right now. Very cool game. We just finished Serpent Starway. We uploaded that, what was that, Tuesday? So if you want to check that out, man, go ahead and do so. There's a whole playlist available for that. We did Astro's Playroom. We're going to be playing Rise of the Ronin soon as well, so stick around for that if you want. But if not, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. Follow me on Blue Sky. See y'all in the next one. Peace. I will